It's past time to expose the Democrats and Republicans for usurping liberty and freedom. What you are about to hear is the amalgam of passion and truth. This is the Southern Liberty Radio Show. Liberty, I come to you humbly. I come to you in the best spirit. I come to you with a fire that no man has ever seen. And those of you that want to, AKA, as I adjust my camera because it somehow moved on me all of a sudden, weirdness, AKA weird, but anyway, those of you that denies the fire of liberty that comes out of my soul and my mouth and my pores and my ears, you're in for a very rude awakening. Because at the end of the day, light does rid us of darkness. And there's no pit, no hotter than the lake of fire. I want people to remember that. Remember, all my people that call themselves Christians and my fellow Christ followers, remember, in the book of Revelation, hell was cast into the lake of fire. Just keep that in mind. With that, I hope you all had a great week. I hope y'all had a great day. We got some things to talk about. First things first, though, if you are not liking the show or subscribing, I don't know what you're doing, but my mods need to just go ahead and boot you on about this BZ. Just to talk. No, not really. I hope you do like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it at all costs. And share this with your peoples, right? See, this is, let me get into it. I ain't gonna waste y'all time with false platitudes, but I might get a little gangster, as I always do, because there's some things that need to be said, right? This is the fourth week of this so-called shutdown. Is it a shutdown? I don't know. Is it pontification? Maybe. Is it procrastinating? Surely is, right? But the media are in a tizzy right now, a panic tizzy, whatever you want to call it, peoples, right? Because their team is not in control, but they want to shift the blame, right? Now, what they're really mad about, and I find this ironic, what they're really mad about is the snap. What happened to the Obamacare, John? Oh no, we need a $1.5 trillion subsidy. Now it's, oh my God, it's snap. Oh my God, these fucking poverty pimps. These poverty pimps. 42 million people. Ooh. Guarantee you 60% of them are illegal migrants. I just saw that number somewhere. Just saying. But I want to be really raw about this. As raw as I can, right? The true crisis is not that the government, right, can't fund itself. The crisis really is how monstrously large, right, the government is. that its temporary pause can affect 1 in 8 Americans' ability to eat. I want you to put that in perspective a second, right? This shutdown is not about a funding failure, right? It's a terrifying demonstration of how the inherent instability and systemic dependency of big government, right? Where we're going to go through the executive branch, what's been done there. Obviously, this is what we do, right? And we're going through the legislative branch, and we're going to deal with the judicial branch, right? Now, y'all know my belief, right? We believe, I believe in a minimal state, right? Focused on protecting rights, not managing welfare, right? The pain of this shutdown, okay, is a direct measure of our deviation from that exact principle, right? The I call it the snap cliff, right? Should be seen as an opportunity to devolve these functions to private charities and local communities where they actually belong, right? But the federal government finds itself somehow in the midst of everybody's lives day to day, and it's stupid. I gotta say this, right? I'm gonna play I'm gonna play a video. Some of you've seen it before. It's an old video. It's back from the 14th, right? And I'm going to I have a point in playing this video, obviously, right? I have a point. I'm gonna play it, and I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, because I'm not too keen on this whole snap thing or whatever, right? So this is Kevin Watson. This happened back in August 14th, right? I'm just gonna play the video. I'm playing the video. I want you to listen to what he's saying, and then what happens, right? Just.
We will move our car, whatever car we need, so they can get the space. Just let's get the park. So now oh no, we can't do that. No, you just gotta find somewhere else to park. Who the fuck is you talking to? You feel me? Like, who the fuck is you talking to for real? Even talking like that? Like, that be the shit, and that's what make a motherfucker be wanting to get into it with y'all, cause y'all ain't got no respect. What's up, bro? What's up? Hell no.
That was Kevin getting shot and killed on Facebook Live. You know his killer? Yeah, gunshot. He was shot and killed right on Facebook Live. You know they still haven't caught his killer? They still haven't caught his killer. Chicago PD has so many wanted posters. And I showed you that for a reason, because I'm going here. Y'all sitting here in places like Chicago and Los Angeles and Atlanta and Baltimore and New York and Boston and Jersey City and Newark and Norfolk, Virginia, all that. Y'all sitting up here in these trap houses, back houses, basements, everything. Ain't doing shit for your damn self. Talking about I ain't getting no damn food stamps. I ain't getting this from the federal government. Motherfucker, won't you go out and inform the police that you hate to get that reward money to put food in your fridge? How about that? How the fuck about that? Now, you let Pookie and Ray Ray run free out here in these goddamn streets to run around killing people, talking about that's on principle, and the government owe me money. Us taxpayers don't owe you shit. You better go lock Pookie and Ray Ray up, get that $25K, put that food in your refrigerator. Huh? Some people say, no, fuck that. If you struggle, if 1 in 8 Americans are on their SNAP and all this nonsense, right? Baby, if you living in the slums and you doing this shit, you in the shit, look, you better get on out there and put, you better dial 911 or somebody, 119 or 411 or 2, whatever you got to dial. You better get that $25K. You better get that $25K for that head that the law enforcement want for committing that murder of your friend of a friend down the street last year. You ain't gonna worry about no SNAP no more. Or you gonna go buy a whole bunch of damn Jordans with $25,000? Where your principles? Yeah, real talk. Don't get mad now, y'all. Don't get mad. If you slumming that bad, you better go check them wanted posters out, find out who you know on there, know where they at. You better become Captain Sleuth or undercover bounty hunter or something. You better get that bread on them posters. If you so worried about putting food in your fridge, no, I ain't gonna snitch. Nah, stop. Real talk. Y'all the same niggas that called on your neighbors because they went outside without a mask to get a burger and fries. You'll sell a motherfucker out for burger and fries, but you won't sell a motherfucker out for $50K. You worried about food. That's you worried about food, bitch. Huh? y'all ain't hungry like that. You ain't hungry like that. You ain't out here in these streets like that. You just want to live off the damn government. Give me more, govern me harder, daddy. Pookie and Ray Ray walking up and down your street right now selling crack rocks on the low. You won't turn him in because he buying you a pack of Pampers every day. Damn them Pampers. Your fridge empty, ain't it? You better go turn that motherfucker in law enforcement. Get that $25K. And if you that scared, $25K will move you almost to any town in the United States. If you scared of somebody tracking you down for snitching or being an informant, take that $25K and pull up. Pack your shit up what you can and chunk them deuces. Get up out that bitch. But when you get to the new place, you're going to have at least $20K, right? You're going to be able to put all kinds of food in your drone, but you won't do that. You'd rather live slumming and begging the government, right? Right? You'd rather be out here bumming and bending your ass over on the corner for the government to come through to ram it right up your ass, huh? You'd rather that than to go get that bread them people to put out there. Ain't no excuse. Ain't no excuse. You living off the federal 1 in 8 is ridiculous. Like, I look out my road. You mean to tell me 1 out of the 10 motherfucking houses within proximity is on SNAP, bitch? They on SNAP, bitch? I go to Winn-Dixie to go shop. There's 8 people in my line. 1 of them people on food stamps. I want people to really fathom that number. And then the Democrats says, well, it's about the children going home. Y'all don't give a fuck about no damn churn. Because if you did, you want to shot down that CR 13 times if you were worried about the churn eating. You wouldn't be out here in these streets acting the way. Look, I don't mean to be raw, but I'm just telling you the truth. If I'm struggling like that, I'm going to go snitch on Pookie and Ray Ray. I'm giving them everything. Everything? Everything. I'm going to give you everything. Give me my check. I'm pulling up. Y'all ain't out here y'all ain't out here really chasing that bread like that. These people, these 42 million people, these people that sit out here and talk about we're gonna run up on your car and take your ish and all this stuff. Need I remind these people that buggy with those possessions, that food in their buggy? Again, I gotta remind y'all so y'all don't fuck around and find out how stupid you are. Those items that person purchased that is in that buggy, wheeling to that vehicle to put into their vehicle, please understand, right? That those groceries can be considered an extension of their property, aka Castle Doctrine. Same it is with your vehicle. If they at your vehicle taking your shit out, don't be surprised if you catch a hot one. I just want people to understand that. You playing with fire when you say stupid shit like, oh, we're going to run up on your car. Nah, bitch. You about to get lit the fuck up with the wrong one. And they ain't going to care. They'll light you up, put you in the trunk of the car with their groceries and drive off. I'm not advocating for any violence or anything, but I'm just letting you know. You're running up on people's shit. They're protected by Castle Doctrine. In the state of Florida, we got to stand your ground. Don't get fucked up in these streets over some damn food. Better yet, don't go get fucked up because you were not, one, prepared, or two, not doing the best you can for yourself and your family to keep yourself in that predicament. How about that? Liberty and freedom is a bitch. And some people still have a slave mentality. Did I stutter? Y'all can call me all kinds of coons you want. All kinds of Sambos and all that. But remember, as you sit in a position underneath the federal government, I'm not worried about it. I ain't worried about it. These people ain't never had to actually go hungry, right? These youngins that's on this snap and all this bullshit talking shit, you ain't never had to go hungry. A lot of us Gen Xers, we went hungry. We were not the richest generation, right? From our parents. We weren't the richest generation. Very few of us had a little bit of scrap. But the rest of us, when we were kids, we was bouncing so-and-so house, because so-and-so was cooking some sort of dinner. We was all bouncing between houses, huh? What little bit of allowance money we would get We'll save that shit like it was the last dollar we was gonna get, huh? Y'all youngins on this snap talking shit ain't never really been hungry. Hmm? You ain't never had to go out and go pick your own shit if you wanted to go eat. Y'all don't get it. Y'all city folk don't get it. You've been privileged with the silver spoon in your mouth. Hmm? But you have a nerve to tell the American people you're going to pull up on them and steal their things if the government doesn't give them money. You know how fucked up of a mentality you have to go act out against your fellow countrymen because the government didn't give you something? This is the number one reason why that damn government in Washington, D.C. needs to collapse. It needs to say, shut the fuck down. It needs to stay the fuck shut down. They can shut it down for the next 3 years, shut it down. I don't care. It don't affect me. Because I'm not dependent on the federal government for anything. Now, for the workers, I feel sorry. I feel bad for them. I feel bad for those workers. But the guys that are working in the bureaucracy, you may just want to think about going back to the private sector. Straight up. And I'm gonna use the Democrats' line, right? What they tell us 5 years ago, learn how to code, bitch. I guess you better learn how to code, motherfucker. Y'all in the bureaucracy better learn how to get jobs in the private sector, huh? I guess about that time, equal application of principle, right? Code, we're using the jobs. Learn the code, bitch. Federal government shut down. You about to lose your job. Learn the code, motherfucker, or find a job in the private sector. Taxpayers are tired of paying y'all damn salary anyway. I wish Donald Trump would freaking flatten the whole bureaucracy, if you ask me. But what do I know? I'm so radical ass minarchist that don't want the federal government to do shit anymore for nobody because everything they touch turns to shit. All of it. Every last bit of it. I don't care if it's a Republican in office or a Democrat in office. It all turns to shit. Every time. Because they all fight to expand that bureaucracy. Why? 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 Here's what's screwed up. Got another article here. I'm kind of all over the place right now. I don't know if y'all seen this joint yet, but this is out of the Hill. It was just published a little while ago. Senator Van Hollen saying after the SNAP ruling, Trump administration tried to use hungry kids as political pawns. You poverty pimp ass motherfucker. See, y'all see what I'm talking about, right? Chris Van Hollen and other Democrats slammed the Trump administration Friday after a judge ordered the federal government to release emergency funds for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Now, look, I gotta take this hat off because I'm on fire. I'm lit. But listen, real talk, right? When did a government program being shut down become an emergency? I want y'all to really think about this a second. A federal judge on Friday rejected arguments that the emergency funds can be used only for hurricanes or other uncontrollable catastrophes, ruling in favor of the 25 Democratic-led states that sued the administration. A separate lawsuit was filed by a coalition of cities and private groups. I'm sorry. A government program, I want to be clear, a government program being shut down is an emergency. I hope Donald Trump appeals this. Try to use hungry kids as a political pawn. This is the bullshit. This is that bullshit. That fund is not to fund a government program. But these idiots damn sure tell you otherwise. It ain't no emergency, bitch. It ain't no emergency, yo. This is just so effing gross. "13 times they turned down the bill to open the federal government. Now we're going to go into the coffers and give the people part of their benefits." I'm trying to stay calm because it pisses me off. So the Senate, right? The Senate tried to stave off political risk, right? By trying to move along some standalone bills, right? To pay popular political groups, right? Right? Like active duty military and air traffic controllers, right? We want to talk about the height of hypocrisy, right? Congress knows damn well. It's written in the Constitution, Article 1, Section 8. It's written in there, right? Congress knows that national defense is a legitimate federal function and should never be subject to the appropriations process, right? Yet they have deliberately tied it to programs like SNAP and WIC. How disgusting is that? Right? So the Democrats are selectively trying to push legislation to selectively fund these things, right? And only thing it proves to us, the people watching them, is they can separate essential from non-essential. But the Democrats refuse to do it for the sake of political leverage, right? It's the same thing with the ACA, right? There's no talk about ACA, the subsidies, no. We're not talking about that anymore. It's about SNAP. It's about hungry people first. What about people that can't go to the hospital? I thought that's what y'all were fighting for. Wait, I gotta check my notes. Hold, please. I'm checking my notes. Hold on. I'm trying to see which one they're telling me it is. Yeah, no. Yeah, look. Wait, hold on. I'm checking my notes. To make sure. I gotta check my notes. Yes, they did. They abandoned the people that need health care for people that are no, let me take it back. Children. It's about the children. So it's health care. If the children ain't healthy, they can't eat. Democrats holding the government hostage over the ACA. Forgot about ACA and got you focused on SNAP like a bunch like the poverty pimps they are. Right. But really, let's look at it from a different perspective, right? This is a struggle over state interference, right? Because keep in mind, those ACA subsidies were a massive, massive intrusion into the healthcare insurance market, right? The increase in premiums is a feature, not a bug, of an overly regulated system. And Democrats are weaponizing dependency created by previous government intervention. Because this is what Democrats do. And Republicans who don't get me wrong, there's Republicans that's on board with this too. But Republicans do things in other ways that are kind of sleight of mind, right? And we'll talk about another piece of this hypocrisy before we talk about the executive branch, right? The AFGE, right, is the largest union in DC. Then it's AFL-CIO, right? But AFGE is the American Federation of Government Employees, right? They represent almost 1 million federal workers, right? They have publicly demanded, even up to the other day, a clean CR, right? Think about this: 1 million people strong in this union can make such a public declaration that literally it's almost stronger than any lobby in Congress, right? But I want to throw this in there a second, right? Because this type of pressure from this type of union in the scale of this federal workforce is a massive, this is a massive centralized labor force, okay, whose pay, right, is contingent on a single political negotiation. Think about that. It is definitely a clear vulnerability created by state overexpansion. Just something to think about, right? Now, we're going to talk about the executive, right? It's quite ironic. Here's what's ironic. This is how I know Democrats. Sorry, I don't mean to be on a political wagon on this one, but this, I gotta call this spade for what it is, right? WIC was being funded by tariffs, right? I need to show you something. Hold on, where's it at? This happened a couple days ago. Here we go. Let me pull this Jimmy. Let me pull this Jimmy Jammy out. Some Senate Republicans joined Democrats to rebuke Trump's global tariffs. So they are literally repealing his tariffs. I understand why Rand Paul did it. I understand it. Susan Collins, Mitch McConnell, Lisa Murkowski. Ugh. But here's what I want to hit you with, right? Here's what I want to hit you with. The administration, through the tariffs that was imposed, right? $300 million in tariff revenue is funding WIC. Now, some people will say the president is violating the Constitution, right? Because the president is unilaterally directing revenue, the tax, right, without congressional appropriation. But I will also say that he's still working under the emergency powers of the IEEPA, right? So he's using his authority that was given to him by Congress to invoke at any time. This is why I find this hypocrisy crazy. Because you give him the power, but then you vote him out of the power. Just repeal the IEEPA. Just repeal it. Be done with it. Then you don't have to worry about it anyway. No, we're going to pass legislation to rebuke him. No, fuck that. Just repeal the IEEPA. Done. Right? Cut that shit out, minimize it, but you can't. Because you gotta, y'all in Congress gotta swing your dicks around. Like you know shit. Or you're doing shit. You ain't doing anything but gaslighting the people. Because you're not fixing the core of the problem, and it's state expansion. Right? Now, tomorrow, new 25% tariffs on imported vehicles and parts will go into effect. Right? I'm just putting that out there. Oh, excuse me. I'm just getting sick and tired. I do want to bring up one video though, because one made me smile, and then we'll get to the conclusion of all this so we can get off here and do our things and go to sleep and all these different things. I won't keep y'all too long for the time, but we're running real good on time right now. I want to play something that Mike Johnson said the other day. Let me see. Let me go for it. Perfect. This one is perfect. This one is perfect. So give me a second to. There you go. Perfect. I don't know why I didn't load on my thing, but we're gonna get it loaded because it's beautiful. All right, where are we at here? I hope y'all make sure y'all liking and subscribing and all that good stuff for me. Make sure you're sharing this with your peeps and all that. Make sure if you haven't subscribed to all the shows on the audio side of things, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google, whatever, make sure you're subscribed to Chasing Life, Liberty, and Minarchy. People seem to forget about our Sunday show that we do. We literally talk about just libertarianism and particularly minarchism and how to reduce the state and all that. So, if you have a Sunday free, it's 8 p.m. Come check us out. If not, still download it from where you get your podcast. The Experience Today, you can do that same thing there. And the Fifth Estate, same thing. Make sure subscribe to it. Whatever. You don't even have to download them. Just subscribe to them, right? And obviously, Southern Liberty, the flagship show, right? You got to get it in on that one too, right? You got to get it in on here. So make sure you're checking out all 4 of these shows. Now, might have a 5th one in the works, so we're gonna see how that works out. A 4th and or a 5th and a 6th one will be coming. So we'll see how it works out. But those I don't think those will be live just yet. But stay tuned. I'll keep you updated on Patreon. What I want to do, there's a video I want to play real quick. Of Mike Johnson preaching music to my ears. Do I believe he'll do it? We can only cross our fingers and hope, right? But it's a glimmer into the future. Just y'all check the video out.
And as heirs to the American Revolution and the descendants of patriots who defied tyranny, in the coming months, we are going to pass legislation to roll back the totalitarian 4th branch of government known as the administrative state. We're going to drastically cut back the size and scope of government. We're going to return the power back to the people. And in coordination with President Trump and his administration, we are going to create a leaner, faster, and more efficient federal workforce. We need to do that. Our people do not deserve to be ruled by millions of bureaucrats they've never voted for, never met, and can never hold accountable. They deserve a government that is led by those they've elected to lead. That is how Article 1 is supposed to work. That was the idea of the Congress, and we will return to that principle. The American people have called on us to reject business as usual and throw out the status quo. We must and we will heed their call.
But I will tell you, mind you, that comes from when he was elected. Have we gotten there? Maybe in some regard. I still hold hope. I still hold hope. But right now, as of 10 months in, we'll see what year 2 looks like. Like, I want to see bills personally. I want to see bills that are literally like gutting whole 3-letter agencies. Like let's don't fuck around and turn around and think we found out. No, I want you already know what the problem is. Like, there's no more fucking around because you already found it. Just be done with it. Be done with the whole thing. I do want to get to one more thing before we leave. This is a message for Donald John Trump. I'm going to need you to sit your ass down, sir. I'm going to need you to get with Melania and hold her hand and take a whole ass seat. You're telling the Senate Republicans to go nuclear? No, absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. Donald John Trump, you need to take a whole ass seat on this one. Because what you are advocating for is literally the destruction of America. That filibuster is the only and last check we have. That's it. Because I guarantee you, the Senate Republicans go run the nuclear option, right? And, they'll say, oh, it's only for the nominees and this and that nature. Donald Trump, I want people to remember, right? Donald Trump wants them to use a nuclear option to open the government. I want people to understand what that means, right? Right now, you have the filibuster, right? The vote for cloture, right? You need 60. You need 60 to invoke cloture. And then you need those same 60 to pass the bill, right? You get rid of that filibuster, it goes back to simple majority. Democrats get one. Look, Democrats would only need 48, 45 to 48. Because they'll always have Republicans siding with them, like the Susan Collins and the Murkowskis, to ban firearms, all of them. Amongst other things they could do to the American people. I want people to listen very, 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 very. These are very strong words for Donald Trump. Very, very, very strong words. You need to take a whole ass seat, sir. Because you're putting the people at risk now by telling them, the Republicans, to run the nuclear. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. I'll die on that sword with any conservative or any MAGA person that wants to jump in my face about it. I will die on that sword. Because the one thing we're not going to do is when the opposition gets into power and they strip away every last bit of their rights, of our rights. They'll go and codify Roe v. Wade, right? They could even pass laws saying, "Oh, men have to get vasectomies after X amount of," like they can do all kinds of shit, and they have already talked about doing all kinds of shit. Donald Trump, you need to take a whole seat, bro. Talk that shit after we repeal the 17th Amendment. Talk that shit then. But until then, no. And any Republican that is vying for the nuclear option, you need to be primaried, yanked by your wig, and thrown in the brush fire if you're advocating for the nuclear option. Because you and anybody else that advocates for using the nuclear option, you are an enemy of the state. In the state, I'm talking about the big ass state, the people, not the little ass state, the big ass state. You're an enemy of the people, and we will not stand for it. So I hope Republicans do the right thing and tell Trump to sit down and put him in his place. Because he is by all means only the executive of the country. He is the weakest branch of the three. Don't believe me? Read the Constitution of the United States and tell me what powers the executive has. That was not given to him. That excluding the ones that was given to him by Congress, what powers does the executive have? But anyway, I appreciate y'all and I love y'all. All that good stuff. Y'all enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there. You still got crazy you got people still doing Halloween tomorrow. Trunk or treats are going on, all that across the country. So please be safe out there. Pay attention to your surroundings, whole 9 yards, all of that. Those of you interested, come back Sunday, 8 p.m. We're doing a new series on chasing life, liberty, and monarchy called The Moral Compass. The case for the I can't remember the name of it, whatever. It'll be posted after this show's done. I'll post to get it ready to go. But remember, y'all, I love y'all. Make sure you love your neighbors and love your family. But ultimately, at the end, if you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody, anything else. Until next time, y'all. Peace and love.